Is up, everyone? And we are live. Wow, back to really, we kind of crossed the uncharted territory, guys. It is really very exciting. I think a lot of folks are kind of wondering, okay, what am I gonna do now? What's up, Luis? Morning, bro. What are we gonna do now? Like we held from, let's say, if you bought 17k to 18k, and you're now seeing profits for the very first time. Yeah, whether you decided to dollar cost average, if you did, congratulations, you are probably doing very well at the moment. What is the whole scenario now? Do I switch some to cash? Do I hold everything in BTC with strong hands all the way until the 100k mark? Will there be an alt season even? I think a lot of people are probably wondering what to do. Voice Beat Productions. You can contact me at ryan@cryptogrinders.com. Let me fill it up, my friend. Let's yeah, guys, while waiting, right, you can ask me anything. I would prefer this to be a Q&A session, because right now the market is very different compared to when it was in 2017, 2018. So questions would be much appreciated if you have any with regards to your portfolio. What are the market sentiments, stuff like that. Okay, Ryan. Yeah, it's not possible that it bounced though. Crypto, no worry. Give me a second, guys. Yeah. Okay, so that's the email. Yeah. So, yeah, 21,800. Yesterday was about 20,700 ish. We want 20,700. Right now, the whole market is shifting upwards, right? So I was kind of commenting in the Protégé Pro and in my private group, basically, that if BTC continues to climb, at some point there will be profit taking. This current movement to me is slightly artificial, because large part, why I say it's artificial, when it was really affordable, when Bitcoin was really affordable, I feel that the whales have already bought whatever they needed to buy, but they kind of will scale back, especially if they see the prices going parabolic. Okay, so one, I don't feel that that's really them, and I feel that Bitcoin probably has enough volume to sustain large amounts of transactions. That means a transfer of borderless payment borderlessly. That means from one country to another. I think that's a large part why there's also this current uptick. The good thing is that if the prices continue to stay where they are, this transfer would be in profit the moment it arrives at its destination, or if that person who is receiving decides to hold. So this is a very interesting scenario. Also, I feel that Ethereum is large part still very much undervalued, because, right, a lot of people are having their attention on BTC, right? So the whole world, basically mainstream media, will be covering BTC, and they won't really shift its attention anywhere else at this very point. So try to understand this. The mass market, the herd instinct, will only know what they know, right? Or it's not like they are watching various types of YouTube videos these days. Try to understand that if you're seeing BTC at this current price point, and why people are even more inclined to buy BTC, because it can soak up so much more volume compared to everything else. Now you are asking, for example, like look, let's not talk about altcoins first, because I am key. Although you ask me, I don't know what is Pi. Like, is that a Raspberry Pi? Like, if it doesn't have volume, it's not in my radar. Okay, if I to be frank, let's just be very blunt. Trading small cap coins, right, isn't going to be the main mass market attention at the moment, and I do not want to be in that scenario. Now I understand that the whole DeFi, decentralized exchange space, is going to be relatively hot And why I believe it's going to be hot, because there's going to be a lot of folks that are focusing its attention on BTC Ethereum, at least for the good 6 months, 3 to 6 months, okay, trying to accumulate as much as they can. Don't forget, year-end bonus is coming, but also there's going to be taxes that have to be paid on whatever profits made, so on and so forth. There's going to be this bulk. Next year, also, there's going to be announcement of more stimulus internationally, right? So when there's more stimulus, means that you're going to have a further devaluation of the US dollar. More people who are concerned about inflation, the fact that inflation is going to be a concern to savvy customers when they feel that their purchasing power of their dollar is dropping, will switch to BTC or switch to Ethereum as a hedge. Now, there are also the other spectrum where they focus on traditional finance, which is they do not care about crypto. They only focus purely on stocks, bonds, mutual funds, emerging markets, commodities. Yes, and of course, my favorite, the collectibles space, right? The collectibles space is going to be exciting as well. Antiques and artworks are definitely going to be on the rise, because I feel that, especially with Bitcoin going up to the current prices, the right mentality, even the right mentality would be to park some of that Bitcoin gains somewhere. You know, it's very normal. You're going to see certain asset classes benefit from this, and I think property is going to be one of them. I don't consider buying cars unless they are vintage cars, right? And they are collectibles. They're very sought after by investors of that realm. I don't see that as an asset, by the way. But I'm looking at the current possible scenarios that could benefit from Bitcoin's current price. So you have folks that, I mean, I have many friends who have Bitcoin, who hold Bitcoin, right? And they are definitely considering taking profits on those positions, or at least a portion of that position. So that's very normal. No one wants to hold through another round. But will we see the 3 to 4,000? So I did comment again in my private group, also in the public, our public forum, my public forum in Discord. I don't feel that we will see $3,000 to $5,000 anymore. Like $3,000 to $5,000 is out of the window. It's out of the window. It's not going to happen. I don't believe that we will see those lows for BTC anymore. Neither will we see $150 to $200 for Ethereum anymore. It just doesn't make sense that it would go there. But if the supply on the exchanges are very low, and there is the possibility of the whales trying to short or benefit from a short position, then it would depend on whether is it worth it to cause that reaction, right? To kind of short and try to profit from the downside. But the downside is going to be extremely limited as long as there's enough buying. So for now, we need to take note of the on-chain movement, right? And also the exchanges, like what kind of volume and what kind of orders are coming in. But a large part, I would say a lot of bots. It's not as simple and straightforward as last time in 2017, when a lot of us are unfamiliar with the whole taking profit. The large part don't even know how to use trading bots, don't know what is a limit order. And also don't forget, there is a lot of margin being used these days, meaning that everyone is just trading on synthetic. They're not really trading on leverage, meaning that they're borrowing, right, so that they can trade. So most will trade in USDT, which means that they are not really, if they decide to long, right, they will usually be doing a borrowing on their USDT, anywhere from 3x to 5x or 10x or whatever. Same thing, they can also be borrowing on BTC or Ethereum. So that whole realm of investors also, or at least speculators, is another thing. They do not care about what is the long term. They're only focused on the position that they're in, and whether is it in a profit or loss. So that's that spectrum there. And I think most of us, right, are trying to find what's the next possible play. Like, I think everyone in their mind, like right now, firstly, are we even going to have an alt season? So I think the alt season is the most exciting part because eventually when everyone is seeing BTC at 21,000, 25,000, let's just say BTC goes to 30,000, right? The appeal starts to get lower and lower and lower because how many people can really buy a full BTC? Yes, totally understand. You can buy fractions of it. But let me try to say something really straightforward. Would you like to have half a girlfriend, right? Or would you like to own a quarter of that hot chick in your own half the hot chick in your office or something like that? Like nobody wants to do that, right? Everybody wants to own the whole thing, right? Buy a whole BTC. It's like these days when you have one BTC, right? It is really bragging rights, guys, because that's like a submariner, literally in your wallet, right? And of course, that in fact grows at a faster pace compared to a submariner. Well, maybe not, because the stainless steel is actually doing quite well. But jokes aside, everybody wants to own a full Bitcoin, right? And don't forget that the emerging markets, right? The emerging market economies will love the altcoin space. But right now, when everybody sees Bitcoin going up crazy, right? Everybody's pouring their money, whether they are average income earners or whatever, they're scraping as much money as they can, pouring their money into Bitcoin. I think we all saw, or at least if you're following on Twitter, Peter McCormick, he has a podcast and everything like that. He took out a personal loan to buy Bitcoin at kind of recently, guys. We're talking about maybe sub 19,000, maybe 19,000 to close to 20,000, which is very ballsy. But I think there are a few details that were not addressed. Nobody asked him whether he was able to sustain his loan. So I'm not entirely sure how long the loan is going to be. It was a personal loan. From what I read from the tweet, it was a personal loan for I think 46 to 48,000. Okay, anyway, around that amount. And he was saying that for him to be able to pay it off, Bitcoin had to be at anywhere from $22,500 or something like that, so that he can completely cover the payments or the repayments. Now, a lot of people are going to be affected by this, right? They're going to be affected by this because they miss the whole bear market to accumulate and buy Bitcoin at the low. They didn't do it. So suddenly, and this feeling is always very normal, okay? It's very, very normal. You had the opportunity to buy, but because right now, everybody is talking about it. Like everybody's talking about Bitcoin, you're going crazy already. And at some point, if you are not in an emotionally stable state, you might consider taking up a loan yourself. I be very frank, I'm very, very against it because firstly, you are now buying at the all-time high. Exactly, Chicago Rolo, FOMO, right? So, would I do it? The answer is no. Okay, like even if I was completely new, okay, but bear in mind, firstly, you must understand my background. I am or was a banker. I see people lend money for various things. Also, we process the loans for housing loans, personal loans at the time as well when I was doing consumer market. So I totally understand, right, why people do what they do. And there are people who are desperate to make money. And that desperation, and imagine if I was Peter McCormack, right? I feel that he's really that true blue enthusiast, right? Because he has been interviewing people who are in the space continuously, hearing about so much about the progress, the development. And even though we were trudging along, right, you cannot deny that there's a lot of improvements. There's a lot of developments that are happening in the space. So can you imagine that you're always interviewing all these people who are thought leaders, they are developers, they are CEOs, co-founders, different companies, and you see that all this talent is pouring into the space. You're like, what am I doing? Like, to me, I'm like thinking, wait, you decided to take a loan only now. is it because you can only take a loan now, that's why you decided to do it? Or you could have taken the loan like way back when it was low, and then right now you would be able to even repay that loan, right, and be debt free. Because now when you owe a loan and you're putting your money into a relatively volatile asset class, Bitcoin is still it is still a volatile asset class, guys. So at least he's not putting it into some random altcoin, right? That would be just disastrous, right? You would see that guy probably like owe lots of money. So I don't think when I look at it, I feel that, okay, he probably has a game plan. I hope, okay? And if he can service the loan from his income that he's getting from whatever he's doing, any kind of services or whatever, I think it's okay. But I just don't like the fact that he's buying at such a high price. Like I said, high can only go higher. Okay, let's just talk it. Just talk normally. High can go higher, as we have seen, and this market has proven us wrong many times. But then again, it has plummeted back down and consolidated many times. Like I hope that he was just maybe creating attention and not really he was kind of creating attention because like I said, people do follow him. I think he has about 100K or more followers on Twitter, right? And his podcast is relatively popular. So if he's going to go in to Bitcoin at 19,000, and if the market kind of stays flat, that means he's paying interest, right? He'll be paying interest on his Bitcoin. Now, the problem is his personal loan was 7.5% per annum. Even if he was to lend his Bitcoin, right? And lending would mean that he's not having it on a private wallet. Okay, even if you did it from a decentralized manner, you're still having to do some kind of matching, meaning that for let's say Uniswap, you need to have a certain ratio of say BTC and USDT on your Ledger wallet or your Core wallet linked up to a MetaMask and linked up to Uniswap, and you have to have a portion and you kind of have to balance it out to be a liquidity provider. And if you were doing it on a centralized exchange and lending out your BTC to earn an interest, it's about 6%. So he's still having a net negative on the amount, right? And I don't think he's a trader. Like I don't think he trades BTC because it's from what I understand, he doesn't trade BTC. He just wants to buy and hold. So you see, so there are many things that come from this example, and people are going to really either take it like, wow, this guy is like really insane, or they're gonna take him as like a very good example, like a leader, like, wow, Peter, I respect him so much. He's one of the thought leaders in the space. He interviews a lot of people. I'm sure he knows something. Then they kind of go and do the same thing, but they are not in the same financial position or having the amount of knowledge that he has to confidently do that. That's my concern, because I've been kind of helping out folks within the space, clients or just friends, for a very long time. Like people who sometimes they email me, if they want to really talk about building their portfolio in the space. I really go through the whole risk assessment with them, basically a risk profile assessment with them, to kind of understand their financial state. And when we go through that with our clients, right, they understand themselves better. They start to think it through. Because right now they're so everybody is very emotionally charged. That's why yesterday when, the whole world, especially all the bigger YouTubers, are doing the whole 20K live thing, I was like, that's awesome. But I think there is very few things that were addressed from a financial standpoint. Because at this point of time, right, when you think about it, how many ways can we really make money in the space? Like effectively, trading is not easy. Trading is not easy, guys. And if you don't have the right skills to trade, don't trade, right? Hence, people are also concerned about short-term capital gains. Folks in the US or certain parts of Europe or in Asia, they may not want to trade. They may not want to trade because firstly, A, they don't know how, and B, like there's also the temptation of leverage, right? Where you can easily blow your whole account in a matter of minutes, especially if the pullback is very, very strong. So all these things, right, come together, is going to cause a lot of emotional unrest, and you can't sleep well at night. You get very affected. Your mood becomes very bad. So I would say that leave the trading to people who can really do it full time, and at the same time, kind of like, if you want to learn, take your time to do so. There are so many videos to do so right now and learn how to trade. Too many already. It's like too many. Like literally, I don't even bother making, because firstly, I feel that there are people who have been doing it better than I have. So I rather you go and just type how to trade with Fibonacci, or how to trade with OBV, and you will see plenty. There are just so many. Like, you can learn so many things on YouTube, right? You don't have to pay someone to teach you how to do that, right? But end of the day, if you're going to be buying and holding and it's your very first time, I feel that you have to go into the market very gradually, like literally hundreds of dollars. To, if you're a higher net worth individual, of course you can afford to go thousands. But I would say that right now is a very peak period, and it's parabolic. The movement is parabolic. Like, if you knew how to see a chart, and that's the problem, a lot of people don't bother to see the chart. They don't know what is that. They look at it, they are very lost. They don't know that the price is parabolic. Maybe they don't even know the term parabolic. So that's the thing, right? So they go on to Coinbase, they buy whatever they can, because it's now very easy. You can just put your credit card in, and then after that start buying Bitcoin or buying whatever cryptocurrency. So they are totally unaware of the price. They'll just, oh, okay, I'll just buy a few $100s at the current price. It doesn't matter. It's not going to kill me. True, it's not going to kill you, but in the end, it becomes bad practice, because you don't pay attention to the price at all. You don't really care. Like, think of it logically. 20,000, right? 20,000 to okay, let's just assume realistically. Let's say you want to make 50%. 20,000 to 20,000 to 20,000 to 30,000, right? That's a market cap increase. Okay, we're talking about a 65% dominance at the moment on a almost 600 billion market cap. Okay, so market cap right now is 591 billion, right? You're having an increase of another 2 to 300 billion. Okay, so realistically, do you think that 2 to 300 billion would just come in and just solely pump Bitcoin to 30,000 for no good reason, and you don't expect a pullback? You know what I mean? Like, you're gambling on your upside for now is limited. Of course, everybody will say, as if you look at a 10-year, 20-year time horizon, you know that fiat is only going to be continuously printed. It's already dog shit at the moment, right? Like, fiat is just dog shit, right? It's just a promise of value. There's no real backing to it. Like Bitcoin, you have people pouring money into Bitcoin. So there is that sustainable moat, as they say, that is forming that value and keeping that value high. It is a given already. Okay, same thing, like the collectibles market, right, are just so much more valuable than you holding cash. It's very sad. If you are still a saver, I would assume that you're probably not tech savvy. Hence, you are also not very market savvy, and you're not aware of the various markets that are out there. Hence, you are still very trusting on putting cash in the bank, and not only that, locking it, allowing them to lock it up in a fixed deposit with an extremely low interest for them to roll your liquidity for you at a higher interest rate. So why not, right? If you were to learn how to do it correctly for the next 6 months, 3 to 6 months, just learning how to do it in the crypto space, right, in a safe and controlled manner, right, you'd be making like 5 to 10 times more. Why do I say that? Because even if you were to start lending your USD Tether, lending your BTC, lending your Ethereum, your interest is so much more. Also, there are certain coins or tokens that are giving a very high APY, which is an annual percentage yield. So APY seems to be the thing in crypto. They use APY, right? So the yield, meaning that they return you in that particular token for that full year financially, that full financial year. It could be in fees, it could be in literally as a distribution, as they say, or we used to call it airdrop, right? But I don't think we use, I would say, yeah, I would still say it's a distribution, right? Because it's token for that token. So as long as the token price has a certain level of sustainability, means price support, you would be able to, I guess, cash out on that yield as per se, which a lot of people do. Liquidity providers do exactly just that. When they earn from the fees, they will dump it because they need to cover up the cost or the cost of them holding that capital, right? Because at the end of the day, they're just lending. They're not doing anything really. They're very smart, right? Because as long as you are able to hold a healthy pool of money, say 1 million, 2 million, or whatever ungodly amount, right? Big amounts, and you just lend it out, and you can just soak up that interest and earn from that interest. It's very attractive. Also, crypto is still relatively not as transparent compared to you transacting in cash. It can hit your bank account, of course, right? At some point, you definitely want to cash out to cash. And the networks for crypto to cash are more established now. I would assume that people who are handling large sums of money already know who are the counterparties that they can trust to sell off their so-called their crypto to get cash. Now, it can be always at a higher fee, but I think it's based on whether you feel that the whole cycle or this process is worth doing. And I feel that it's always still worth doing. The next thing is that comes to mind is, can we still do arbitrage? So arbitrage just basically means that you buy on one exchange for a cheaper price and sell on another exchange for a higher price, right? And I think you still can do that only from a centralized to a decentralized exchange. Now, take note, it's always sensitive and price sensitive, especially automated market makers are now smarter and they are able to pull data much quicker than last time. So I think this would be more prevalent with smaller cap coins and not the top coins, because the top coins in the past there will always be a difference. Like you can see the Koreans were buying Bitcoin back in 2017. The Koreans were buying Bitcoin at a 30% premium compared to everywhere else. And I think that at one point, I think was it in Zimbabwe? Right? In Zimbabwe, Bitcoin was just so much. I think it was like just worth so much more because the currency was just so shit, right? That Bitcoin was just worth so much more there. But then if you were to if you were to cash out there, you would have it in Zimbabwean dollars or whatever the currency, I can't remember. And then from then you have to convert to USD. From then you would have lost a lot on exchange rate fees, right? So that's that. But I feel that the market is getting tighter and tighter, meaning that you have more exchanges consolidating, coming together, sharing information, and this sharing of information is becoming more and more powerful. So I feel that people who are running portfolios these days, like myself and with my team, are focusing very much on how we can provide value for our clients. So for example, when I say provide value, we do not run an asset management firm. We are more on consulting, in the sense that we focus on the needs of our clients and making them understand the space much more. We want them to understand what they're getting themselves into, because I feel that a lot of people were not educated from that level and still are not, and hence that is the level that is the space that I want to continue to pursue. Why do we not do asset management? Because I feel that at the end of the day, we must understand that the space has a lot of there's a lot of irregularities. But also with the fact that there's so many irregularities, there's also a lot of opportunity. So I would prefer to disseminate the information in a group manner. From then you can take that information and act upon it on your own. Because I think a lot of people need to move away from having their funds managed for them, because they are so used to having their funds managed for them by a financial advisor, a banker, right? So much so that when they decide to make a decision, a financial decision for liquidating, just liquidating alone, right? They have to go through a lot of gauntlets. Crypto is very, very fast. You make the decision on your own, and that's how I've advocated for since 2016 actually. You know, all these decision making, right, is very important, because once you know how to make these kind of decisions, it's a life skill, because imagine you can start going to other markets and start doing the same thing. It's very powerful. In the end, you start to realize, hey, I don't need a banker to tell me about my money, whether I should sell or not. Yes, there's nothing wrong with having a conversation with a banker, because you may be from you're working hard at your job, whether is it in tech, whether is it in logistics or whatever, and you need someone who is observing the market day in day out, like myself, right? So I see that gap. That really people are focused on making money. The fact that in COVID period, I have more clients, which is very, very odd, right? Because I expected COVID to be like, okay, that's it already, But you'd be surprised that there are always people buying in this market. There are always people who are buying property, and we're talking about high-end property. We're not talking about like literally, like you're thinking, wow, okay, like what COVID are we talking about? Like I thought like businesses were going bust, people don't give a shit. But here in 2020, you have Bitcoin going up to $21,800 in COVID period. Isn't that also mind-boggling? Like you have your relatives or maybe a friend who is suffering from COVID, possibly even losing their job because the industry was affected. But then you have Bitcoin at $21,800. You have Ethereum at 650. Like, where's all the money coming from? Like, and then after it suddenly it hits you, Am I really affected? Am I affected? No, I'm still working. You think about it, like I'm still working. My job is still secure, right? People still need me. And then you think to yourself, hey, I'm not that bad at all. And then you start venturing out, because you realize, or you come across maybe my video or someone else's video, that the purchasing power of my money today is getting worse and worse. If I was to go out and buy a loaf of bread, for example, maybe it was $2 previously, now it becomes $2.50. That means you're not making more, but you're definitely being charged more by the brands out there. And people have to start realizing that, and you have to understand that the market forces around us, right? You have to pay attention. So having that conversation with someone who is financially savvy is good, but don't forget that they always have the intention of making a commission from your decision. For me, when I charge a consultation, that's it. I'm not here to make anything from you other than my rate, because I value my time. But all the decision making, profits, losses, obviously you are the one to enjoy, or you bear the losses, right? It's just very fair. So that's how I approach it. And I feel that from an education standpoint, will I ever do workshops? No, because if I do a workshop, I don't want to have that false sense. I don't want to give people that false sense of hope that within a 3-day 2-night, and if you pay me a few $1,000s, you're going to be a guru yourself, or you're going to be an expert. A lot of people have that expectation. I am very fearful for people who are going to be so-called drawn by the crypto gurus. Because trust me when I say this, you're going to start, because you're already watching a crypto video. Hence, you're going to see, right, so-called the crypto gurus from your country. Your algorithm is going to start showing crypto ads or make money online ads. It's very normal. The reason why you watch crypto, usually you're interested in the development or you're interested in making money. 99% are interested in making money. There are very, very few that are interested in doing dApps or development, right? Because that involves a certain level of coding skill. Whereas making money, crypto is slightly easier because it's more straightforward. There are skills involved, but it's more straightforward. Buying and holding is not difficult. But learning to buy and sell during a short time horizon, that's trading, right? So not many people know how to do that, and they want to learn how to do it. Hence, that's the fastest. So you start seeing all these ads, you start going to a workshop, you start getting curious, right? And yeah, and the more times you go for all these workshops, eventually you'll be convinced. I'm very concerned when people take up a installment plan to pay for the course with money that they don't have. Same thing, taking out a credit card, putting it on a 24-month, 12-month or 24-month, 3, 6, 12-month, 24-month installment plan for a few $1,000 course. That means, moral of the story, you don't have the money to begin with, right? Yes, I understand the whole installment free thing, but hence you do not have the money to even fund your account, right? Like if you did it slowly and you watch my videos like for free, and you just go through my whole video library, right? And you just watch it for free. My message has always been consistent, right? Focus on the dollar cost averaging strategy, okay? Especially if you know nothing, you know nuts, you just focus on the dollar cost averaging strategy on Ethereum or BTC. Just keep it simple. Because to go into the altcoin space, you need to have a certain level of experience. Hence, when I do altcoins in my private group, right, you are already experienced. My private group members are 2 years or more. They have been with me 2 years or more. They are not like, yes, people do join, right? But they have a certain level of experience. When they go through the questionnaire, they already have a portfolio. They understand that, okay, there is risk involved. Okay, then they already have their platforms set up. I don't have to go through all these things with them. They already know how. So from there, they are able to start buying and understanding what I'm trying to tell them. But when I see new folks coming in, I am quite concerned. I am quite concerned that they are going to be misled. So I hope that this video kind of helps folks out. I hope that people will be more vigilant and not too trusting when they start seeing content online. You know what I mean? I'm just hoping that they're gonna be they're gonna be more cautious. I would say. I think being more cautious is important. So anyway, guys, that is all I have to say. If you have any questions, right, you can ask. Like right now, somehow my chat has always been very quiet. I'm not very sure why. Either I'm not speaking in clear, concise English, or when they see an Asian dude, they don't know what to ask, or they think that look. There's no such thing as a dumb question, but of course, naturally, if you have questions, feel free to email me at ryan@cryptogrinders.com. Subscription groups or private group links are in the description below at Protégé Pro. That's a Google form. But other than that, guys, content is relatively consistent these days. I have more time because my kids are in school. But yeah, take care. It's a new market right now. It's a new level. Enjoy the ride, guys. It's gonna be quite interesting. 2021 and beyond. All right, and yeah, take care and see you guys in the next video.